Listen to me very carefully. There is a specific type of woman walking this earth who is a complete paradox. She is the puzzle that keeps men awake at night. She is the one who confuses you, frustrates you, and makes you question your own sanity. You know who I'm talking about. She's not the cold woman who genuinely has no interest in you. She's not the busy woman who truly doesn't have the time. No, this woman is different. She is harder to read than anyone else because her external behavior is a direct contradiction to her internal reality. She's not disinterested. She is actually the opposite. She wants you. She wants you so badly that it terrifies her. And because of that terror, because of that overwhelming fear of vulnerability, she is doing everything in her power to hide it. She is working overtime to push you away, to convince herself, her friends, and especially you, that she doesn't care. But here is the twisted psychological truth that most men never learn. The more she wants you, the meaner she might act. The deeper her feelings run, the colder the shoulder she gives you. The more she thinks about you, the more distance she creates. I know that sounds insane. Logic dictates that if we like someone, we draw them closer. We open the door. But we aren't dealing with logic here. We are dealing with a complex psychological defense mechanism. Most men hear this and think that makes no sense. If she likes me, why would she reject me? Stay with me. Do not click away, because what I am about to reveal will completely change how you interpret every interaction you've had with her. I'm going to show you exactly how to recognize when a woman is fighting her feelings for you. We are going to break down the subtle behaviors that give her away, the micro expressions she can't control, and the one thing she does that is so counterintuitive. 99% of men misread it as rejection and walk away from women who were secretly praying they would stay. When you understand this, the confusion ends. You stop second-guessing your texts. You stop feeling anxious when she goes quiet. You start seeing the truth behind the mixed signals. This isn't about playing mind games. This is about understanding female psychology at a depth most men never reach. By the end of this video, you will not only identify if she's fighting her feelings, but you'll discover the secret psychological trigger, the safety switch that makes a woman stop fighting, drop her armor, and finally admit what she's been feeling all along. But first, we need to go deep. We need to talk about why strong feelings terrify her more than you realize. And a fair warning, the real reason might make you uncomfortable. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with how her brain is wired to survive. Picture this scenario. You're with her. She laughs at everything you say. The chemistry is electric. You can feel it in the air, that tension, that spark. But then the next day, she goes quiet. She takes 6 hours to reply to a text. She opens up about deep personal things on Tuesday, and by Wednesday she acts like you're a stranger she met in line at the grocery store. She stares at you when she thinks you aren't looking, burning a hole through you, but the second you catch her eye, she looks away like she's bored. You have probably thought, she's just playing games, or she's not that into me. I'm reading too much into this, I should just move on. Here is what is actually happening, and this is rooted in behavioral science. She likes you so much that her brain is literally treating you like a threat. Not a physical threat like a predator in the bushes, but an emotional threat to her stability. There is a psychological phenomenon that most people don't know exists. It touches on something called hedonic reversal in attachment anxiety. It explains why the things we want the most are often the things that terrify us the most. Think about it like this. Have you ever stood on the edge of a very high cliff? The view is beautiful. You want to see it, but your stomach drops. Your legs shake. Your instinct screams, back up. Why? Because the fall would destroy you. That is exactly what is happening in her mind right now regarding you. You are the cliff. The potential for love and connection is the beautiful view. But the fall is the heartbreak, the rejection, the loss of control. Her brain is running a calculation. If I let myself want him and he leaves, I will be destroyed. If I hand him the power to make me this happy, I am also handing him the power to break me. So, studies in behavioral psychology show that when people, especially those with avoidant attachment styles, develop strong feelings quickly, they unconsciously sabotage the connection. This is a survival instinct. Her brain is running a protection protocol. It says, if I don't let myself want him, I can't get hurt. If I keep my distance, I stay safe. If I act like I don't care, maybe these feelings will just evaporate. But we both know feelings don't work like that. You cannot logic your way out of attraction. Feelings don't disappear because you ignore them. They are like steam in a pressure cooker. If you cap them, the pressure builds, they grow, they intensify, and eventually they start leaking out in ways she cannot fully control. And that is where the magic happens. That is where something bizarre occurs. The signs appear, the cracks in her armor, the moments where her guard drops, just long enough for you to see the truth. But there is one sign, sign number 3, that is so shocking, most men think it means the complete opposite. I'll reveal it in just a moment. But first, let's look at the foundation. What exactly should you be looking for? If you want to know the truth, you have to stop listening to her words and start watching her patterns. Words can lie. Behavior, specifically unconscious behavior, cannot. Here are the 7 signs she is fighting a losing battle against her attraction to you. This is the most overlooked sign. She is inconsistent with her attention, but there is a specific pattern to the inconsistency. One day, she's texting you paragraphs, she's using emojis, she's asking about your day, your childhood, your dreams. The connection feels deep. You think, okay, we're getting somewhere. The next day, radio silence, short responses, one-word answers. Suddenly, she's busy with work or friends or just life. Most men interpret this as she lost interest. But look closer. When does she pull away? Does she pull away when things are boring? No, she pulls away immediately after a moment of high intimacy. Time the cycles. Did you have an amazing date on Friday night where you talked for hours, and then Saturday she was distant? That is not a coincidence. That is the pendulum effect. Every time she swings close to you and feels that vulnerability, her internal alarm system goes off. It screams, too close, danger, retreat. So she swings the pendulum back the other way to regain her sense of control. If you had a moment that felt too real and she goes cold, that isn't rejection. That is her panicking about how much she enjoyed it. She always comes back, maybe after a day, maybe a week, but she always comes back. She can't stay away because the attraction is the gravity pulling the pendulum back to you. You need to become a master of observation. Watch her body language when you are in her physical space. She might try to control her face, but she cannot control her nervous system. When we are around someone we desire but are trying to hide it from, our bodies exhibit displacement activities. She fidgets. She plays with her hair. She adjusts her rings. She crosses and uncrosses her legs. Her body is literally trying to decide between moving toward you, desire, and protecting itself, fear. But there is one specific gesture that is a dead giveaway, the neck touch. If she touches her neck, her throat, or her collarbone while talking to you, pay attention. In evolutionary psychology, the neck is one of the most vulnerable parts of the human body. It is where the jugular vein is. It is a vital point. When a woman unconsciously touches or covers her neck around you, or plays with a necklace, she is signaling 2 things. She feels vulnerable and exposed. She is unconsciously trying to protect herself from the intensity of her feelings. It is a self-soothing gesture. She is trying to calm herself down because your presence is spiking her heart rate. If she was indifferent to you, she would be relaxed. She wouldn't need to self-soothe. She asks about other women, but you have to listen to how she asks. It won't be direct. She won't say, "I'm jealous. Tell me you love only me." She's too guarded for that. It will be casual, carefully constructed, disguised as curiosity. So, are you seeing anyone special? What's your type usually? You probably have girls chasing you all the time. Who was that girl in your Instagram story? She frames it like she's just being a bro, just making conversation. But here is the tell most men miss. Watch her face when you answer. If you mention another woman, or even just describe your type, watch her eyes. Does her smile freeze? Does she look down? Does her mood shift for even half a second? That micro-expression is pure, unadulterated jealousy. She is probing. She is running a reconnaissance mission. She is trying to figure out if she is safe to feel what she is feeling. She wants to know if there is competition. When a woman who is fighting her feelings asks about your love life, she is basically saying, I care about this way more than I want to admit, and I need to know if I'm going to get hurt. I warned you about this one. This is the sign that creates the most confusion. She gets meaner the more she likes you. Now, disclaimer, I am not talking about abuse. I am not talking about a woman who disrespects you, calls you names, or treats you like garbage. If a woman is toxic, you walk away, period. I am talking about playful hostility, sarcasm, teasing, challenging you. This is a defense mechanism called reaction formation. Freud identified this over a century ago. When the human mind feels an urge that it considers dangerous, like loving you, it often expresses the exact opposite emotion to hide the truth. She will tease you relentlessly. She will make jokes at your expense. She will act like nothing you do impresses her. She might roll her eyes when you tell a joke that everyone else laughs at. Why? Because acting unimpressed gives her power. It creates a shield. If she acts like you're annoying, she doesn't have to admit you're captivating. Here is the kicker. The more cutting her wit, the more she is probably fighting her attraction. Creating emotional distance through humor and sarcasm is safer than admitting vulnerability. But watch what happens when you catch her off guard. Watch what happens when you stop joking and look her in the eyes and say something genuine. The sarcasm vanishes. The walls crumble for a split second. That shift, that is the real her, peeking out from behind the shield. Here is a major sign that proves she is obsessed but won't admit it. She remembers everything, and I mean everything. That random story you told 3 weeks ago about your childhood dog, she brings it up. That specific food you mentioned you hate, she remembers it when you're ordering lunch. That minor deadline you have at work, she asks you how it went. Here is the neuroscience behind this. When we are attracted to someone, our brain releases a cocktail of neurochemicals, dopamine, norepinephrine, and oxytocin, every time we interact with them. Dopamine is the chemical of focus and memory. She isn't trying to remember these details. She isn't taking notes. Her brain is encoding them automatically because you matter to her. Indifference is forgetful. If she didn't care, she wouldn't remember your middle name or your favorite band. When a woman is fighting feelings for you, she is paying attention to every single pixel of the picture, even while she pretends she's not looking at the screen. You've seen her around her friends. She's loud, she's funny, she's the life of the party. She walks with a swagger, she is totally at ease. But then you walk into the room. Suddenly, there is a shift, a glitch in her matrix. She becomes quieter, or maybe she talks too fast. She seems hyper-aware of how she is standing. She knocks a drink over. She stumbles over her words. That is not incompetence. That is not her being awkward. That is high-stakes anxiety. When we are around people who don't matter to us, we are relaxed because there is nothing to lose. But when she is around you, the stakes are sky high. Her brain is screaming, "Don't mess this up. Don't look stupid," which ironically makes her act a little clumsy. If she is cool with everyone else but acts weirdly nervous or tense specifically around you, congratulations, you are the anomaly. You are the one who breaks her frame. Finally, look for the subconscious mirroring. This is classic psychology. When two people are in rapport, they mimic each other's body language. You take a drink, she takes a drink. You lean back, she leans back. A woman who likes you will mirror you, but a woman fighting her feelings will do something unique. The recoil. She will find herself leaning in toward you. Her body wants to be close. But then her conscious mind will catch her. What are you doing? Pull back. So she will suddenly sit up straight. She will physically distance herself. She will cross her arms. She catches herself being too open and immediately corrects it. It's a war between her biology and her psychology. Her biology says, go to him. Her psychology says, run from him. Now you see the signs. You know she's fighting it. You know she wants you. This is the most dangerous moment because here is where 90% of men mess this up completely. They see the signs, they get excited, and then they make the one move that pushes her away permanently. They initiate the pressure campaign. They think, oh, she likes me. I just need to prove to her that I'm safe. I need to confess my feelings. I need to ask her, what are we? I need to text her more to break down her walls. Stop. Do not do this. If you push for clarity right now, you will lose her. If you ask her to define the relationship while she is in this state of fear, she will bolt. If you try to logic her into admitting she likes you, you will trigger her defense mechanism so hard she will ghost you. Why? Because you are forcing her to face the one thing she is trying to avoid, vulnerability. You are shining a spotlight on the very thing she is hiding in the dark. She will convince herself it wasn't real. She will tell herself, see, he's too pushy. I was right to keep my guard up. But you also can't just walk away and ignore her, because then she will think you don't care, and her fear of rejection will be confirmed. So what do? How do you handle a woman who is at war with herself? You need a strategy that bypasses her defenses. You need to create psychological safety, but not in the soft, pleading way you might think. Here is the 3-step protocol to unlock her. Step 1. Become the lighthouse. Consistency. When a ship is in a storm, the lighthouse doesn't move. It doesn't run into the water to save the ship. It doesn't turn off its light. It just stands there, solid, unshakable. You must be the lighthouse. When she is inconsistent, you remain consistent. Do not match her chaos. If she goes cold for 2 days, don't get angry. Don't send a triple text asking, "Are you mad at me?" When she comes back, simply act as if she never left. Be warm, be receptive, but stay grounded. This does something powerful to her psychology. It shows her that her moods do not control you. It shows her that you are stable. Her biggest fear is that emotions are dangerous and chaotic. By being the unmoving rock, you prove to her that you are safe. You are not going to be knocked over by her storm. You must give her space to breathe and then reappear with value. When she pulls away, let the silence hang there for a day or two. Do not chase. But, and this is the key, don't disappear forever. Reappear, but not with a demand. Do not text, "Hey, haven't heard from you." That is a demand for attention. Instead, text her something that adds value. A funny meme that relates to an inside joke. A picture of something cool you saw, an article she would like. Saw this and thought of you. Hope you're crushing it this week. That's it. No questions, no pressure. This creates a new neural pathway in her brain. It teaches her, when he is around, I feel good. He doesn't demand things from me. He just enhances my life. You are teaching her that you are not a burden. You are a bonus. If you want her to drop her shield, you have to lower yours, but only an inch. You need to show her that vulnerability is not weakness. Share something real with her, not your deepest, darkest trauma on the first date, but a genuine thought, a goal you're struggling with, a fear about your career. You know, honestly, I've been really stressing about this project. I'm not sure if I'm going to hit the mark, but I'm grinding. When you speak like this, you lead by example. You show her that a strong man can admit uncertainty without collapsing. When she sees you being real, her mirror neurons will kick in. She will feel a compulsion to match your energy. She will feel safe enough to step out from behind her wall, even if just for a moment. Now, if you have done all of this, you've been consistent, you've given space, you've been real, and she is still fighting it. She is still pushing you away. There is one final card you have to play. The nuclear option. This is the psychological trigger that makes a woman stop fighting and finally surrender. It is called loss aversion. Human beings are wired to fear losing something twice as much as they enjoy gaining something. It is a fundamental law of economics and psychology. As long as she thinks you will be there waiting forever, she has no incentive to stop fighting. She thinks she has time. She thinks she is safe to keep you at arm's length while she sorts out her messy head. You need to shatter that illusion. She needs to realize that you are not an infinite resource. She needs to feel the subtle, genuine shift of you moving on. I am not telling you to play a game. I am telling you to actually start investing in other areas of your life. Go out with your friends. Post stories where you are having fun without her. Focus on your mission. Stop initiating as much. When she senses that your energy is pulling back, not out of anger, but out of self-respect, her brain will flip a switch. The safety protocol that told her to push you away will be overridden by the panic protocol of losing you. Suddenly, the fear of intimacy is replaced by the much larger fear of a life without you. That is the moment she texts you at 11 p.m. That is the moment she stops the sarcasm. That is the moment she asks, "Can we talk?" Because she realizes that while she was busy building walls, you were walking toward the door. And she has to decide right now if she's going to let you leave or if she's going to open the gate. Gentlemen, understanding a woman who is fighting her feelings is not about manipulation. It is about empathy. It is about realizing that her coldness is actually fear and her distance is actually a cry for safety. But remember, you cannot save her from herself. You can offer the space, you can be the lighthouse, but eventually she has to be the one to sail the ship into the harbor. Don't wait forever. Know your worth. But if you see these signs, have a little patience. Because the women who fight their feelings the hardest are often the ones who love the deepest once the war is over. If this resonated with you, if you recognized a specific woman in these words, do me a favor. Drop a comment below with the word understood so I know you grasp this deeper level of psychology. And hit that subscribe button because next week I'm going to reveal the exact words, the specific script to use when she finally does reach out, so you don't fumble the ball at the 1-yard line. You do not want to miss that.